I would like to welcome all of you to John the Mouse University. I am your professor, John the Mouse. Now, at this high-class university, we will be learning lots. And as students of this university, I expect you to engage in the comment section and to use your thumbs up button. In this video, I'm going to go over some things that they don't teach in regular school. I will be sharing a lot from what I've learned over the years. I will also be pointing to other people's stuff that you can learn from. I would also point out that your situation is different than mine. Now, this doesn't mean you can't incorporate some stuff that you learn into your situation. Let's start out with the basics. I have told many over the years. It don't matter how little or how much you make. Now think of a bucket as your wallet. In this bucket is water that represents your money. Now, do you see the holes in the bottom of the bucket? Each hole is a bill that drains your water out. Some of the holes are bigger than others. Now, to keep this bucket from running dry, you need to pour water in faster than when it's leaking out the bottom. Now that you have an idea of how to look at it, let's get a little deeper into this. With everyone's bucket, we have two choices. The most popular option everyone loves to talk about is to pour more money into the bucket. The other option is to plug the holes in the bottom of the bucket. This is a harder thing for people to do. Hence, most people don't talk about it. I'm just going to come out straight and tell you that you need to do both to make this work. If you neglect to fill the holes, they will become bigger over time. Some of the holes you won't be able to fill. You'll have to look at your bucket and see where we can start. Can you work overtime? Sideline jobs, YouTube, Lyft, etc. Are you putting money into a 401k? Maybe that's not the best spot for it. If you're making 5% interest a year, just hear me out. If you're pouring in this 5% into the top and you have a credit card taking out 20% interest out the bottom, you're losing money. Just remember, I have told many over the years, and now I'm telling you that making the money isn't the problem. It's keeping it is the problem. Everyone has their fingers in it. It starts with the government and it works its way around back to the government. So what are we going to do to keep more of your money? Well, don't spend it. I wish that was the easy answer. But the government prints money and you lose that money that you don't spend. You've probably heard it called inflation. The Fed wants to make you lose 3% every year. So that's why I say it's important to do both choices. As you save money, you are going to use it to plug holes. That in turn will help you save money faster to plug more holes. Dave Ramsey has a lot of ideas on the snowball effect. He always talks about paying off the smallest bill first, then work on the next smallest one. Now, everybody has a food bill, so let's take a look at that's dripping out the bottom. Dave says you're broke. You should be eating beans and rice. I would push it further and say you should be buying it in bulk to save even more money on it. Be looking for that 50-pound bag of beans and rice. Growing a garden is a good way to cut your food bill. Most people in the USA live paycheck to paycheck. They are on a treadmill of debt. Do you really want to keep running on it? Or do you want to hop off and see what other things you can walk to? Maybe you can be a business owner. You know what they say, it takes money to make money. I can tell you that it is true from my experience. It's a different feeling that you have when people owe you instead of you owing them. When I was a small mouse, there was two older brothers that I would see shopping every week. The one week there, the one was telling me that they saved 50% of their paychecks for their retirement. They didn't start right away. Sounded like they started in their 40s. I always wondered if it could be done. I'm here to say that you can do it on if you own your house, don't pay house insurance, no health insurance, have cheap property taxes, the smaller house that don't cost you a lot to heat or cool, cheap cars that don't cost a lot to insure. Now, is that for everyone? You really have to depend on your situation if that works or not. So what I do know, I keep working at plugging the holes that form. The last couple of years, I've been doing a garden. Pressure canning, been doing for 5 years now. Started canning pork and beans to put on that rice. It beats any pork and beans that you can buy in the store. You can make it to the way you like it. I use 3 pounds of beans to a pound of pork. Then blend up your tomatoes from the garden. You can use really anything like spaghetti sauce. Add your water, salt, and anything else into the slow cooker. After your Great Northern beans soak up all the water and tomato sauce, I put it in quart jars and pressure can them for later. Want to save some money on electricity? Change out your most used bulbs to an LED. Then slowly change the others. Just a note. Save them other bulbs. If you move out, put the old ones back in. Keep them expensive bulbs for yourself since they last a long time. Just another quick note here. I mark on the bulb, on the base of it, what date they were put into service so I know that knowledge for later. Once your bucket starts overflowing with water, it is time to start building wealth for later on. These assets will help you build a bigger bucket. Just remember to keep an eye on your cash flowing into your bucket and out. I will touch on assets a little. There is a lot of different assets. They can be as small as a garden seed. The skill of canning, gardening, etc. can be an asset. Your house, rentals, businesses are larger assets. Now the hated taxes. Once you start getting larger assets, you can start taking advantage of the tax system. It pays to learn how to take advantages of the tax breaks so you don't have to pay taxes. Several years I've paid no taxes. The idea is to pay as little as you can. Some years I have paid more than I would have liked to. But if you're one that wants to pay taxes or think I should pay more, I will gladly send you a bill for my taxes. Now note, the government will say that's income, so I will have to add taxes on top of that to cover the taxes due. The older I get, the more I think that I will never see that money I have put into the Social Security. Time will tell on that. If you look back on the program, you will see it covers less and less of your expenses as inflation takes more of it away from you. You should really cut out all your extra expenses you have and put it towards assets. I hope you learned the basics about managing your money. Remember, make the money work for you. Lots of people say make a budget. That's one thing I have never done, but it might work for you. All information provided in John the Mouse University is provided for information purposes only. John the Mouse University does not necessarily agree with every expert that comes on to give speeches at this fine university. We put a reasonable effort to present accurate information at John the Mouse University, but makes no guarantee of any kind. As you leave this university for the day, you will come across the tip jar. By no means does this mean you have to fill it up. If you like the information that you have received here today, I would encourage you to share this with everyone you know. I will be here for your next class.